The Tsing Ma Bridge, part of the Lantau Link, was officially opened by Lady Thatcher on the 27th of April 1997. The Lantau Link project was started in 1992 as one of Hong Kong's 10 massive infrastructure projects costing approximately 1.8 billion US dollars. Consisting of a suspension bridge, a cable-stayed bridge and a viaduct, the Lantau Link is the vital connection between the new Chek Lap Kok Airport and the urban areas. The Tsing Ma Bridge, connecting the islands of Tsing Yi and Ma Wan, will be the longest road and rail suspension bridge in the world. With a span of 1,377 meters, it will carry 6 lanes of traffic on its upper deck and 2 rail tracks on the lower deck. As the bridge will be the only highway and railway link to Lantau, the designers made certain it would first provide free access under all weather conditions, second, be protected against collisions by ships, and third, be stable during high winds. Traffic will normally make use of the top deck, but under severe weather conditions, the bottom deck inside the box would be used. Second, the bridge will be protected against possible ship impact. This is why the Tsing Yi Tower has been placed on land, and why the Ma Wan Tower has been located in shallow water surrounded by an artificial island. Third, the bridge has been designed to withstand the very high wind speeds experienced during typhoons. To make certain of this, extensive wind tunnel tests were carried out both in Canada and the UK. Work began in May of 1992, and with its scheduled completion date of May 1997, the project will take 5 years to finish. To construct the bridge, the Highways Department of the Hong Kong government selected an international group of contractors who have built some of the longest and largest bridges in the world to give additional protection from the marine environment. 2 huge concrete caissons, which will become part of the foundation for the Ma Wan Tower, were cast on the deck of a submergible barge anchored near Tsing Yi. Both are 28 meters long, 20 meters wide, with one 17 meters high and the other 19 meters high. The Ma Wan Tower foundation is located in shallow water of about 12 meters deep. Preparation work of the foundation included underwater blasting to flatten the area on which the caissons will rest. When the Ma Wan site was ready, the 2 caissons on the barge were towed to a site off North Lantau. After sinking the barge by adding water, the caissons were floated off. They were then towed to the Ma Wan site. At Ma Wan, the caissons were positioned and aligned properly. To To protect the tower from ship impact, rock and selected fill material was placed around the foundation of the towers to form an artificial island of an area about 4 hectares. The most prominent feature of the Tsing Ma Bridge will be its twin towers, each of which will stand at a height of 206 meters. A trial cable compaction for the 1.1 meter diameter main suspension cable was carried out. Once the saddles were installed, the spinning of cables was about to begin. The cables were constructed by the aerial spinning process. The aerial spinning process involved drawing wires from a constant tension supply and pulling loops of these wires from one anchorage to the other.
In the morning on the last day of March 1994, the first cable was in place.
Before this could be commenced, it was necessary to construct temporary footbridges from anchorage to anchorage along the line of each cable. Working platforms known as catwalks were suspended a meter below the cable positions to enable the workers to form the cables above the Marwan Channel. This aerial spinning technique dates back more than a century, but this was the first time it has been used in Hong Kong. On a system of pulleys, 4 loops of steel wires were drawn from the Marwan anchorage through the saddles, over the tower tops, all the way to Chingi anchorage. For convenience of spinning and adjustment, the cables are divided into 91 strands of 368 wires. The process was repeated more than 8,000 times to form each cable of some 34,000 wires. The cables took 9 months to complete and support the entire bridge's weight of over 50,000 tons. Following the completion of spinning, each cable was compacted into a circular shape and bound with temporary strapping. The cable bands were then fitted, clamped into position by tightening the large high-strength bolts. The suspenders were then looped over them. Each cable measures 1.1 meters in diameter, and the combined length of the steel wires adds up to 160,000 meters, enough to circle the Earth 4 times. The next stage is to hang suspenders from the suspension cables so that they are ready to receive the bridge deck units. Transporting the assembled deck sections to Hong Kong proved to be a mammoth task. Damage to any part of the assembly from strong winds would have held up the entire process. A specially designed barge was built to transport 2 deck sections at a time from the assembly yard to the bridge site. It was in the early hours of the morning of the 9th of August 1995 that the first deck of the bridge arrived from Dongguan. The barge was moored directly beneath the bridge, and the deck sections lifted into their final position by lifting gantries standing on the main cables. The first deck section took 6 hours to install. The bridge is made up of 95 deck sections, each weighing 500 tons. It took 9 months to lift all deck sections from the barges on the channel. On the 28th of March 1996, the final deck section was lifted and the bridge was in sight.
About the same section, the two pairs.
At this stage, the bridge was virtually completed. The 2.2-kilometer long Tsing Ma Bridge is planned to open to traffic on the 22nd of May 1997, marking a new gateway to Hong Kong.